Hello and welcome. I am Jonathan Pritchard from iCouldsReadMinds.com, and I want to introduce you to a plugin that I found to be incredibly helpful because I'm a visual thinker, I have a degree in art, and every once in a while I'll need to do a lot of math for my consulting business, and sometimes it can get so involved that I lose track of where I am in the calculator and what I've done and what I still need to do and what this current number is. And sometimes if I could just see everything all at once and then kind of like a word problem, and then I'd be able to change a number here, change a number there, and then be able to affect the final outcome, that would be incredibly helpful to me. And that's what I found in this plugin. Now, to show you what it can do, I'm going to show you the two places where I'm going to be using it the most. And hopefully that'll give you an idea of how it'll help you out. So to do that, let's just jump right into the screen share. For this screen share, we are back into the demo vault that I've got set up. And in order to show you this, let's get into the community plugins and then we'll browse for numerals. And this is the plugin that we are looking for from Ryan C. Current version 1.2.0. We install it and enable it, and that's pretty much it. Hit escape a couple of times, and if you want to, you can go in here and play with some of the settings. And it doesn't really make sense until you dig into it, but we'll go over this really quick. I like two panes, plain text. That's fine because I'm not going to be doing a lot of coding work. I'll just be using this with plain text. And I do want autocomplete suggestions and include functions and constants in suggestions, not right now. And here you can see the alternating row color. That's really helpful to be able to see when the variables change. And the rendered number format, symbol, currency mapping, okay, yep. And that's all we need. Now let's go into a new note. And in order to use this, we do 3 tick marks, and those are the tick marks above the tab button, at least on my MacBook. And then add in math, and you are in. So you can add some headers, and then do something like that. And as you can see, we already have heading here, alternating rows from when I was hitting enter. And over here on the right is where all of the answers are going to go. So imagine, here's a way to use this. In my consulting, I'm often working with business owners who are good at their business. They don't have a lot of experience with digital advertising, digital marketing. They know that they need to be advertising online, but they have no familiarity with, say, Google ads or pay-per-click ads or running Facebook ads and that kind of thing. So the number one question they ask is, okay, how many phone calls am I going to get from this? How many new clients am I going to get from this? And that can be a really tough question to answer because of how many different steps are involved in the process. So let's stumble our way through this word problem, and we'll just see how this plugin works. So go back up into this. So let's say that they have a budget of $5,000. So their budget equals $5,000. And then they are advertising on, let's just say, plumbing. And then it is a $2 cost per click. So for every click, it's going to cost them $2. And then, well, how many clicks are they going to get? So here, before we even go farther, let me explain what in the world is going on here. So this total clicks, if you've seen my previous video, I'll put a link to it. where I'm talking about front matter and YAML and the properties plugin, the new functionality. And I got crazy frustrated because it won't accept a space between words. This is the same way. All of your variables, all of the elements that we're talking about here have to be all together. So I like using an underscore here. You could use a capital letter to differentiate them, but you can't separate the words of a variable like total clicks. And I evidently have autocomplete of the elements here turned on. Doesn't matter if you don't, but it works just like a normal math problem. So total clicks equals, and then we're going to put some stuff in between these parentheses. So the first one is budget. And this is the autocomplete that the settings was talking about. So when it autocomplete pops up, you can hit enter and there you go. Divided by click. So that's how you're going to find the total number of clicks over to their website, is to take their budget, divide it by how many dollars they have to spend for every one of those clicks, and there's your total clicks. So to show this and to see it, let's just scroll down, and that makes sense. So they have got 5,000 US dollars. It's going to cost them $2, and then the total would be 2,500 visits to their website. Okay, so you can actually, you know what, since I want to keep this clean, I'm going to take this total clicks and put it down here in the results, because I want to put more variables down here. And the variables might be out of 100 visits to their website will like one of those 100 people, actually 2 of those 100 people, will give them a call, fill out their form, or whatever they count as a conversion of visiting that website. So it can be between 2 to 5%. Anything above that can be really good depending on your industry. So let's just say that they've got a website conversion rate of 2%. 100 visits, 2 people take the next action, which they will be happy with. Okay, so then the next question that I have is, okay, how valuable is your customer? How much do they wind up spending with you? So then customer value equals, let's just say that they'll spend $1,000 over the course of the lifetime of their relationship. Maybe they're a plumber and they're doing $200 job here and then $50 job there, and over the life they wind up spending $1,000. Okay, so there's another variable that we can work with. So now let's put it all together. And so we've got total clicks to the website. So that would be a website conversion rate of 2%. So now you can say paying jobs equals total clicks. Actually, we can say total visits to the website. So instead of just counting clicks, we're going to think of them as visitors to the website. So now we can say total visits times the website conversion rate. Okay, so then let's look at where we are. So here are all the variables: customer value, $1,000, website conversion rate, and then total visits is 2,500, so 2,500. And then of those 2,500 who visited the website, 2% of them are going to wind up being paying customers, which would be 50 paying customers. Okay, so then we can say total value equals customer value times website conversions. And then that is completely not the right, not the right number. So customer value times website conversion. Aha. So I got that wrong. Paying jobs. That's what it is. So you can see how I get lost doing the math. And if I were just doing this on a calculator, then I wouldn't know where I had messed up and I'd have to start all over. But here, since I can see everything that I'm working on, it's really handy. Plus, I don't have to go use a spreadsheet and learn how to use Excel and use some other program. I'm just right in here. Hey, and check this out. So they've started with $5,000. It's going to take them $2 to get every click, a visit to the website. So then that means that they're going to get 2,500 total visits from their $5,000 budget. And then their paying jobs, they're going to get 50 paying jobs that are going to be worth $1,000. So that's $50,000 from this particular cost per click or pay per click campaign that they're going to run on Google with Google AdWords or whatever. So now you've seen me stumble through working with all these numbers and playing with these percentages. So now you can see another example of how I want to use this. And this is for doing my shows. So as a performer, so by day, I'm a consultant on business and marketing and that kind of thing. And then by night, I'm a performer using the skills that I teach people and use for my consulting during the day. So imagine that I'm going to be doing a public show, a public performance. And every once in a while I do. And it's called the Asheville Mind Reading Show. And there are a lot of variables to it. So we can say that I have several different tickets. Well, we'll say early bird is $20, just to make the numbers easy for me to remember. Okay, so those are the tickets that we are using. And then say there are, we'll say tickets sold, right? So we'll say okay, so this is where I'm going to keep track of how many tickets I've sold because I have 45 available seats. Let's just say seats here. So I've got 45 available seats, and then I need to keep track of how many tickets I've sold to understand how much inventory I have left. So now I'm going to say seats remaining equals available seats minus early bird sold minus general admission tickets that I've sold minus the VIP tickets I've sold. So that will tell me how many seats I have remaining. So let's exit out of here and we'll see. So each of these tickets, here's how much they are worth. Here's how many I've sold of each kind so far. I have available total spots of 45 seats, and of right now, I haven't sold any. So therefore, I know I still have all 45 seats remaining. So now let's say that 10 people bought early bird, and as of right now, we've got 7 general admission and 2 VIP tickets sold. So now you can see that I have 26 seats left, and here's how many that I've sold. And if I want, I can say, so you can see how many tickets I could add in, how many tickets total I've sold but I don't really need to keep track of that. I'd rather keep track of how many seats I haven't sold because that is super important. So now that we're tracking inventory, let's look at value to see if I'm going to make any money doing this whole thing. So total dollars sold, and we'll say ticket value, yeah, equals early bird. Let's do one each. So I need the early bird ticket, which is the dollar amount, 20, times the number of early birds that I've sold. There we go. So that's that one. Plus general admission times general admission sold, how many I've actually sold, plus VIP ticket times how many I've sold, and then that should do it. So now you can see that as of right now, I would have sold $490 worth of tickets. So total dollars sold, I'm at $490. Okay, but now let's go up to, we can say tickets, and I like putting all the variables up at the top. And also, a side note, you can see why I don't like autocomplete the asterisk or the parentheses, because I'm having to constantly delete the second one that gets added in. Small thing, I could go in and change it, but let's just keep it the same for continuity. And now we put in our expenses. Venue rental, poster printing, if I can spell that right, and so just talking about Google ads, let's throw in some Facebook ads for good measure. We'll say it's $200. So there we go. So these expenses are outlined here. And then just to kind of cut to the chase, we can say that the revenue, how much money I'm going to get, we'll say that total dollars sold would be income, right? So we'll say profitability, I think, right? Equals ticket value, and we've got expenses, and say total expenses equals venue rental plus poster printing plus Facebook ads equals the total expenses. So now ticket value minus total expenses should be our profitability. And as you can see, we are currently $410 negative. So our profitability is not there yet. So as we go through, I could see that, all right, I'm not making money yet. In fact, I need to sell twice as many as I have. So let's say we wind up with 8, so that's 18 plus 7, and we'll just say 9 of those. So total tickets sold, we still have 18 tickets, and now we're only 110. Let's say we sold the rest of the 18 general admission tickets, just to, so 9 plus 18, 27. All right. So we've sold out of, we don't have any seats remaining. And of the available seats, we've sold all 45. And now we sold $1,300 worth of tickets, but we've got $900 worth of total expenses. So our profitability as of right now is $430. So this way I could keep track of all my expenses. I keep track of my my inventory, how many tickets I've sold, and then my availability, and then be able to see this total number change throughout time. Now, without this, I would be doing this in a Google Sheets document, and they'd be all over the place with a whole bunch of weird formulas, and I'd have to know all their variables. But here, it makes so much more sense to me to do it this way, is kind of like word problems. This makes a lot of sense. And another cool thing is if I'm going to be doing more than one show, I can set up this whole thing with all the variables and inventory and how many tickets and my expenses as a template. So now I can copy this, call that, go to a new document and say show template, paste that in, and then if I were going to say, I could go to the palette, insert template. Oh, right. I don't have templates configured. Well, if you watch my other, there we go. So now it should work. If you watch my other video, I've got another video on how to use templates. I forgot that I hadn't set that up in this vault yet, but you just saw the super fast example of it. So now, insert template, daily note template, but show template needs to get dragged into the templates folder. Now when I go to insert template, show template, voila, it just drops in. I don't need to copy and paste anything. But this time I would just go through and change all these variables to $0, but I would keep the math part the same. So you can see how all these variables, you can change it to be whatever you want. You can use fairly natural language to evaluate this, and it's even more powerful than what I'm going to be using it for. But these two use cases, I think, do a really good job of introducing you to what you can do and situations that you would want to use it for. So if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up directly, put it in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And there you have it. That plugin is incredible, and I'm going to be using it all the time. I know that Obsidian is focused on words and markdown files, but when I need this plugin, it is going to completely change my life. So this is yet another area where I'll be able to put more of my life into this incredible program. Now, if you want more videos like this, I strongly suggest that you subscribe to the channel. And if you're not ready for that kind of commitment, I recommend that you watch this video next. In the meantime, remember, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.